pussios, man. Man, I wasted my time. I was happy in lockdown. Then they want to do this stupidness.
Well, why are you vexed? Man,
he's pissed.
He's pissed, innit, Chucks?
He's pissed.
Why are you so
Do you know
pissed?
what? The whole tone of what's going to happen on this podcast now, like your
They've
tone,
affected.
I need
to,
you need to do exercise. Yeah. You need to do like some
yoga
backflips.
Some quick Pilates or something.
Why does
You need to
football do
meditate.
this? Why does football do this to man?
That's mad.
I don't think girls. I don't want to say girls because obviously girls. There are girls that watch football, but generally, man, just take this to heart.
Yeah.
There's
It's
no
crazy.
fans right now. There's no fans. There's 5 subs. Like the footballers aren't even fit, but we're still taking
No,
it
but do
seriously.
you know what? My whole thing was this is a different kind of pissed off because I was happy in lockdown. I was in my rhythm. I was running a lot. I was working out, eating well. They bring Premiership back and they just want to fuck up my whole thing again. I was good. I was good without you.
Let me tell you something here. It's a mood. It's mad. It's a mood ruiner.
Yeah.
But it's also a mood lifter.
Yeah, it could.
Do you
Yeah,
get
exactly.
me? It's like depending on the outcome of the game, like could determine how great your day is going to be. That is when I realized that was an issue for me. Let me tell you something. One of my good friends, was having a stag, and he was doing some go-karting thing, Man United's playing that same day, and I knew, regardless of what happens today, what happens today determines how good today's going to be. What happens in this game determines how good this is going to be. So if Man United lose, no matter how much of a sick time I'm having, it's not going to be as good unless Man United win.
Yeah.
That's a problem, bruv. That's a man's stag, you know. That's a man's stag.
It should be irrelevant.
But I think everyone on the stag understands that though to an extent.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's still a problem.
It is a problem though.
It's still a problem.
Yeah, what is it though?
That's a problem.
I think. Do you know what I think it is? Like
it's endorphins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ain't that like something? It's something that is released when
that levels of dopamine and stuff like that. The chemical in your brain that it involves joy and happiness. But you know what? I feel like the chemical that releases stress is just more. But you know what I think it's because of? Obviously, we're investing it because we love the teams and we've grown up and we've watched the teams. But it's also that just the ego side of it where you know you're going to get bantered. No one wants to get bantered.
That's the majority of it. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's what it's become. It never used to be like that.
It's easily more than, as far as I'm concerned, 70% of
it's the banter, it's the messages, it's the WhatsApps, the Twitter.
Because before smartphones, so before you could just pick up the phone, back in the day, like 90s, 80s or whatever, you'd have to banter your man when you go to the pub or in a social setting when you see them in person. Now you just pick up the phone, WhatsApp group, get onto someone. Someone might just phone you, pick up the phone.
This is a new
social media.
But this football in lockdown is a new level. It's like when you're so hungry, you're hungry, and you get a takeaway, and the takeaway comes and it's cold. Like it just makes it that more. Like,
but it depends, though. It depends.
Fuming.
It depends, because this. Oh, that is a great analogy, bro. Because you know what it is. This is what it's like, With football coming back, it's like you get the takeaway. And if the team wins, the takeaway is the absolute it comes hot. Exactly. You got the mad fish and chips. They, you know what I mean? They smack. This is the reason why.
Talking, you're just loving
all
it,
of that. But your team loses, and then you've just got the shit.
They give me 2 fries.
And now you're upset.
Yeah, I'm upset.
And then they didn't bring the drink. Somebody missed something.
I can't get free to customer service. This is
perfect analogy. Listen, if you haven't figured it out, basically we're recording the podcast, Double Down Podcast. Shout out to everyone that's listening. Everyone's got an opinion. We like to double down on ours. Do you like to double down on yours? We got the boy Chuckie here, man.
Yes.
One of my good brethrens right here.
Yes, man.
The godfather of podcasting.
Yes.
I wouldn't go that far.
Bro, with that beard, I'm calling you the godfather. Champions League, upper echelon podcaster right here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was at one of the early ones when you lot started.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the very first ones at the very first Jukebox Studios, the other side.
Yeah.
The other side, like
Kensal Road it was on.
Oh, was that where it was?
Yeah, it was on Kensal Road. And it's funny because at the time, even when we was, before I even started doing like podcasting, I was podcasting, So like I was recording conversations at home and all of that, And then I rang Progression, who's Casa, he's a producer, And he's Hailey's brother as well. Hailey's
I didn't know that.
Western,
Okay, man.
This is his older brother. And he's done a lot of stuff with Angel or whatever, super
Shout
talented
out
brother.
to him.
And I was like, where can I like I need a studio to record like a podcast and that. And he was like, what do you need? And I was like, basically just microphone and whatnot. And he was like, you know what? My brother, Hailey, has recorded in this place called the Jukebox Recording Studio or whatever. You should just go down there. So I was like, cool. Have you got a number? You got a number? I rang the number, met the guy. It was Dan.
Mad.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So we walked in and I was like, yo, I looked in, I was like, yeah, this is perfect. He was like, what do you need? I was like, just like 2 microphones. Poet's gonna sit there, I'm gonna sit here.
So that's how you met?
That's how I met Dan,
wow.
yeah. And then so when we first was recording, Dan was just sitting there, just pressing record and whatever. And I used to call him producer Dan, yeah?
Early days.
And then, like, you know, sometimes we're talking about certain things and like he's laughing in the background and he's chiming in and whatnot. And then I was like, you know what? I think we should give him a microphone sometime. Like, so when he's no pressure, because this is not what he does, he's a studio guy.
Yeah.
And probably a road man. So I'm like, you know what? Just like have one in the back. And when you feel like you want to say something, whatever, just do that. And then he started to get a reaction. Some of his stories was wild. I was like, you know what? I started calling him, all of them actually. Then I started calling him Savage Dan. And that was kind of how that came about. And then I think a long while after that, Free Shots came and did their podcast and theirs completely took off. So when Dan went on there, then that did another thing for his profile and stuff.
It's so mad you even say that, because I remember I came to one episode and it was me, you, Poet of course, Dan and Taser.
Oh yeah,
Taser. And this was at the other studio near Shepherd's Bush. I was acting, that's it. Up the road from Shepherd's Bush, right?
Yeah.
And that was Taser's first time in like podcasting. And then off the back of that, I remember him saying, yeah, you're actually like this. And then that's when he went and started Free Shots.
I could see how keen he was actually, because like when I was doing the podcast before he came on there, he was like, he would always interact and like, do you know what I mean? And so I think, and I've known Taser for a long time as well.
Yeah, same. So he's always just been about 40s. Remember 40s days, 40s.
Yeah.
When he was showing the 40s t-shirts and hoodies.
Yeah. He's been around for a little while still. But yeah, man. And now, like, it's crazy, bruv. There's a whole, it's nuts. I see it getting added to award shows and all of these things and whatnot. And I still love it the same way that I did when I first started it. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's good.
It's just there's actually a whole scene now, like of podcasters, and obviously I've started this podcast.
I'm glad you have, because your podcast material. Now, I remember saying to myself, but like time ago, no word of a lie, I was thinking like, how could I like almost get you more involved in our podcast? You know what I'm saying?
You did.
So
you've been on quite a few episodes.
Yeah. So but you're like a friend of the show, bro. It's like you, Julie, skits. Yeah, but you've been on the most. So you and Julie are like
Julie Adenuga,
certified regulars. You know?
Every time.
And I think I'm gonna start, like, I know Tolly obviously has the receipts and whatnot. Yeah. But I really like her. So like I wanna just talk with her more as well. Yeah,
she comes with some opinions that I see a lot of people retweeting, pushing.
Receipts.
Tolly's dope, you know. I'm telling you, like, she's an interesting woman, yeah. But on top of that, she's just easy to talk to. You know, like some people are just easy to just chat with. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man. Like she's been on a couple of times now, and we've had some good conversations.
Could you ever have foreseen it becoming what it is now, podcasting? Because when you did it, no one was really making money off podcasts like that. Obviously, there was a scene in America, and we know they were making podcasts over here. But over here in the UK, in the black scene, no one was really putting podcasts together like that. So when you lot did it, you and Poet, it was, for me, it was like, rah, this is new. This is a whole new avenue and platform. Like I knew people were doing podcasts. I knew about Charlemagne and certain people having podcasts.
Are they brilliant idiots?
Yeah, but for you guys to do it, there was no avenue.
Yeah, there's always a place, because even if you look at Twitter is just, it's conversations, it's just thoughts, it's just thoughts. So there's always going to be an avenue for it, because people like to conversate and discuss topics, and in today's society, things are always popping off, man. And like literally tomorrow, something mad could have happened, and we want to discuss it. So.
Like a lot of things, it's like it's just the limit, bro. Yeah, it's not even the limit. There's like, you can go beyond that. But like, I did at some point start thinking about the possibility of how big it could potentially be. And one thing that I did, I went to Russell Brand's show. He had a show in Hammersmith Apollo. And I was thinking to myself, and I bought a ticket purely to see how he was going to deliver that show
You were a fan?
Yeah, kinda. But
Okay.
I went there not because of that though. I went there because ultimately he's a funny guy. Like some people find him funny and stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of people do find him funny.
It's quite political.
Yes, very. But he's not someone who's gonna be standing up for an hour and a half trying to be funny.
No.
He's someone who's gonna be sitting and unpacking a lot of things, which is essentially a podcast. The only thing is he's not going back and forth with anyone, but I wanted to see how he was gonna do that. And that after watching that was kind of like, okay, cool. That inspired me to think, yeah, I want to start doing some shows like that, because I think what is different between like our podcast and a lot of other podcasts and stuff, yeah, or some of the bigger ones, is that there's like a lot that maybe specialize in one type of topic, yeah? So it could be like relationships or whatever, and like sometimes it's like relationships and bants. Do you know what I mean? And that is a hit because everyone's in a relationship, and like everyone likes to hear about sex,
people,
and everyone likes to. That's
There's
like
a big market for that.
There's a massive market for that. But me, one day you might have me and Dan Poet and that might sit and talk about some outrageous sexual shit, but then another time I might have someone on talking about sickle cell. We might just do that, and then another day we might have a conversation about
finances. I saw that.
Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Then it might be Urban Financer. Then it might be jokes again. So it's like when we do a show, I don't want people to think that you're just gonna come and it's just gonna be funny. We're gonna come and we're gonna we might have a segment for 45 minutes to an hour where we really unpack something. Do you know what I mean? So like, slowly but surely we're getting into that, and like we were gonna announce a really big show actually prior to this.
Oh shit,
COVID
man!
thing.
COVID, it's messed up so much. What about the DJ game, bro?
Fam?
What's the state as a DJ? Because obviously, obviously I've known you as a DJ for time. Now, obviously, you being kind of like a broadcaster, a podcaster, has almost kind of taken the forefront in it. But obviously, you're a very skilled DJ, very experienced. Like, what does the state and the future of that industry look like for you,
bro? There's a new normal in that, and I do
what,
believe
IG Lives, IG Lives.
Yes, but I don't think that's gonna.
Lots of people DJing on IG Lives now. People can't even DJ.
know,
Just get paid by
exactly.
brands.
It's
Just posing.
crazy.
Yeah, but and then IG's kind of like cut down on that a little bit. If you're on there playing music for too long, they just
they cut
that
you off.
I know people have been having Zoom parties and shit. It's not the same, but it's mad because in terms of the financial aspect of things, it's hard for a lot of DJs who were just. That was just their main income. And the live industry as a whole has taken a humongous, like a massive hit. Because
it's mad.
like, bro, think about, look at companies like William Morris. William Morris Agency, that is like one of the biggest, that is like one of the biggest entertainment agencies in the world. They look after some of the biggest DJs in the world, or some of the biggest acts in the world. Their business is run predominantly on commission. No, I'm good. It's run predominantly on commission. There's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. But so they're having to find new ways of doing stuff. But it will pick back up again.
I'm about to say, I have the thing that I think all these things are going to come back 2 times harder because
10 times.
10 times, because everyone that's been at home, you take all these things for granted. You take for granted being able to go to a gig, being able to go to a bar, being able to go to a festival. So when these things come back open, people are going to flock in the thousands. I'm telling you.
100%. Do you know what
it's going to be mad.
Do you know what it's like? To add to that, it's like when someone's got an addiction, right? So say you got a loud addiction. I want that Star Dog.
Yeah.
I want that loud pack.
You're talking about Star Dog.
Come on, Star Dog's killing our people. You know what they're saying on Twitter. Someone's got an addiction, right? And then you go cold turkey for a while.
Yeah.
When you relapse, you dive in even harder, they say.
Overindulge.
Exactly. And that's what's going to happen with this. Everyone's been starved of nightclub life and socializing and events. And I was getting to that stage where it was like, I'm not even on, like before the pandemic, that stage of my life where I was like, I'm not on going to events no more. Like I did all of that, going to brand events.
Forget this.
Not even wireless. I mean, in general, but I mean just like even little brand events or whatever where it's just a chill vibe. I was just like, I'm not really on it no more. Now because of this, any opportunity just to get out there and socialize and just be in proximity with people and just bust a conversation.
Feel the energy.
Well, I got 2 things to say on that, One is that like, again, it all depends on how it starts to come back, because the reality is that they're not just going to one day turn around and say 1,000 people can be in a short space, in a short play, like it's gonna be okay, cool. You know what? 100 capacity will work first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We'll do that. There may be, 500, there may be 1,000, however they do that, yeah. So I think that it's just about when they start that. But what I will say also though is it is good that there's some DJs out there that are still trying to find ways to just show that they're still here playing music and doing stuff, so that when it does come back, those people are at the forefront of your brain. You know what I mean? So some people are using that time wisely by trying to do, Instagram DJing and all of these type of things. But yeah, it's hard for DJs and that, man. And I am very grateful that I kind of followed my instincts a few years ago, where I was like trying to make the conscious decision to use my personality in some way. Yeah. Because as much I will be 90 years old at your house playing, music in here for your birthday. I will do that because I love music in it.
You're just a music man through and through.
But I love talking about it as well. I love talking about it. So I want to find spaces. I always wanted to find a space where I could talk about music and talk about stuff like that. So I'm grateful that I used my gut to do that, because now in a time like this, being in the creative industry, I've been able to still make a little bit of an income
and adapt.
Yeah.
You got. Do you know what I say it to everyone? Like, it's not about, because some people say if you do too many things at once, you become like a jack of all trades and a master of none. But for me, it's like, it's good to diversify your portfolio, especially 100%. If you are your brand, like you are your business. Like Chuckie Online is the business. When I do my tax return, Craig Mitch is the business. Craig Spencer is what's on my birth certificate, but the business is Craig Mitch. So if you can diversify and just have yourself in different pockets, do you get what I'm saying? No entrepreneur out there just has real, like, what do they say? The average millionaire has like 7 different businesses or incomes. But you need to diversify yourself.
What Chuckie said, which is, it's gotta be natural though. I think, because otherwise you won't be able to keep up with it, because you won't want to go to that thing. You won't want to podcast. You won't want to do that. If it's natural, if you naturally like talking, like you said, you like discussing music, so it's something that naturally came to you to not just DJ but to start a podcast and discuss these things, then that's different. I think the problem is some people want to they just see what other people are doing and think, I can do this and do that, when actually there's no passion there.
This is one of the reasons actually why you're not seeing so much people DJing. The reason why you're not seeing so much people DJing is because there's a large demographic of people who was just doing it because it was like, oh yeah, I could just like put music on USB. It was a thing to do, whatever. Now it's lockdown. It's time to be in your. Enough people don't even have DJ equipment in their yard. Enough people don't even have DJ equipment in their yard to even want to even do it, even if they wanted to.
Practice it.
To not. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, now you could start seeing like people who really like are about it and love it and all of that. But that doesn't really matter. I mean, once it comes back, it's still always going to be a thing. People are still going to want to be out there and play music and do all that type of stuff. When that's up to them. But like, it will be interesting to see like how the live entertainment thing picks back up again. Like the new ways of doing concerts, the new ways of club nights and stuff like that. I think one of the things that will probably start happening is, I think you're going to maybe see that clubs are going to be, they're going to be like a lot of table service clubs, just 100%. So no dance floor. No dance floor. So
bro,
like
a lot of clubs in West End are like that now.
But a lot of clubs ain't. A lot of clubs ain't no. So you got the West End scene that is like that. So they'll be all right. They'll probably be all right.
You mean like the Liquids in them kind of places?
Or Shoreditch.
Just like Visions, if it was still about. Or one of them,
you know
like
what,
dances.
We can open up. Maybe what we could do is just have tables, so people can just have their own space. How they work that out, I don't know, bruv.
It's going to be a lot of tables, and they're going to be letting in black people now. So that's
what was that old school one that ZZ and them lot campaigned against back in the day?
District.
District. Imagine if District was about now. That was like the early inception of calling these businesses out. Them lot were ahead of the curve with it, man.
Yeah, they were. Still.
I rate it. Do you know what though, man? Like,
sorry to speak on that though.
No, go on.
One of my issues with that whole thing though, not with them, but just in general, is that like, it's mad to me because I know that some people like call them out when it goes against them, but sometimes some people go there with that same thought process in mind because they don't want to go to the thing and be with. They want that exclusivity in some way. But then when the exclusivity doesn't work in you because of then now it's an issue. But we know what them clubs have been about. We've always known what them clubs have been about. 100. So you know, it is where it is. Sometimes it works for you. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, right.
You know the clubs in LA. Have you not been to the clubs in LA?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Bro, so I remember going to, I think this was LA 2016. I went with Poet and all of them lot. And I'm trying to remember the name of the club. I want to say it was Warehouse. No, it wasn't One Oak. We went One Oak. It was a different one. I can't remember the name of it, and it's annoying me that I can't. But it's on Sunset. And basically, we went there, and we came in, and we was like, we didn't get a table, right? So this was like the first or second night that we've come. And this was my first time in LA.
Number one.
That is mistake. And that's what you learn when you're there. So we've gone there, we've gone to the club, we spoke about the promoter, we're like, oh, yo, like, we've come out late to the club. But everyone comes out late to the club in LA. But anyway, we get in there, we're functioning, we're thinking, we ain't got a table, but it's cool. We'll just get a drink, find a spot on the dance floor, find somewhere to hold down our corner. We walking around, so we circle the joint. There's no dance floor. I'm like, oh, whoa. This is a club.
Yeah.
Where is the dance floor? Because if there's no dance floor, we're in no man's land. Basically.
You're at the bar.
But then you can't even chill by the bar because you're in people's way when they're ordering a drink. So then we're like, wait, what's going on here? And then we quickly learn that in LA, dance floors are not really a thing. No. It's either you got a table or you're in the walkway and the waiters are just going to push you out of the way.
And that's classism to a degree.
What?
Because you know it is now. It's like, boom, you got the table and you got the piece for it, then you're there. If you don't, then you're over here. That's how our society works, bro. That's how our society works. It's like you're either up here or you're down here.
Like Titanic.
Yeah, exactly.
You got first class E-deck, all of that, bro. Just down there with the rats and roaches. It was peak.
And roaches.
Bro, I remember standing. I remember finding a little spot in the walkway because there was like tables in the middle, tables all around. It was like a maze, bro. So you had like a square of tables outside, tables on the inside, and then you just got walkways in between. So we're just standing in the walkway trying to catch a vibe. And obviously like the bottle girls are coming through and they're just pushing you out of the way because they know you're not spending money.
You know why that's the worst?
You're not used to them.
As a dude, it's the worst because girls, you might have 1-2 guys but come to the table, but as a dude, you're literally just in no man's land. Just you're about to go on no one else's table.
Bro, LA is savage.
I've never been Vegas or anything like that, but I know that when it comes to those type of things, I mean, this is one thing that we have to, like, I'm sure women will have to admit this one. When you go to Vegas, it's easy for you lot when you're in a groups because you know what? The promoters are like, what? How many of you? Come in. Come in.
Quickly.
We need you in. We need you in. Come in. Man, them. How many of you is there? There's 6 of us. 25 bags for a table. What?
It's literally like that I'm hearing.
25 bags for a table. Mad.
If it's Mayweather weekend, you're looking at 50 to 80 racks.
Strong.
I'm hearing Miami's a madness as
and you can't even drink it all. Huh?
Miami's a joke. Oh my! I listened to this one. Miami. Listen to this story, right? So I went Cuba in 2017. I went with Tia, our other friend Ella. And then what happened was, it just happened to be the same week that July 4th weekend was on. Now, I don't know if any of you know this, but like, and anyone listening, Miami is like, I believe, a 35-minute flight from Cuba. Okay. It's that close. I knew that, So we made sure we booked flights from Cuba to Miami because it was July 4th weekend. So we thought, you know what? We're just going to pattern 2 days in there and then go back to Cuba. This is the kind of madness I was working with in 2017. I was out here, I told you. So we flew to Cuba, got this last minute flight, which, by the way, when we got to the airport in Cuba, I realized that my ESTA had expired to America.
Oh, shit.
So when we're at the airport now, we've got there like, I think an hour and a half, and Tia can testify to this. We got there an hour and a half before the flight's about to take off. We got to the airport late because the cab drivers, I don't know if you've seen the cars in Cuba, but they're from like the 60s. They're all broken down and old. Cars, cabman's taking bare long. There's no aircon. We finally get there, get out, we're rushing. I get to check in and they're like, you can't get on this flight. I'm like, what do you mean? And then Tia and everyone's like, what do you mean? I was the only one. They were like, you ain't got an ESTA. And I was like,
shit.
I was like, what? Because I realized, oh shit, I've booked to go Cuba. I'm not booking to go America. So I didn't sort out the ESTA. So they're like, you're not getting on the flight. So I'm looking at Tia and Ella and they're thinking,
they're thinking,
you know that look?
Yeah, no, but
look like that. No, you know when you look at it, you're like,
do you know what I rate T though? Because T was actually panicking more than I was. She was like actually trying to sort it out. She could have been just like, Craig, I see you here in a couple of days. She was like, no. She's trying to sort it out. But then here's the next problem now. My phone, they don't have 4G out there. and they barely just about had 3G. So my phone was barely connecting to the internet, and there was no Wi-Fi in the airport. Remember, for anyone that don't know, Cuba is moving crazy. Like they're 50 years ago. It's like getting in a time machine.
You have to go to the park just to go on the internet.
Bro, so I'm at the airport struggling to get connection. We all are, and they're not sorting it for me behind the counter. They're like, you got to sort the ESTA. So while you know how long these ESTA forms are. Imagine this is 2017, so I'm filling it out on an iPhone that ain't got the big screens that they have now. It's loading slow, trying to get it up.
Stress.
Then when we finally get through it, pages would freeze. Like, I didn't know if I was getting...
So you might have to all do it again.
It was mad. Finally, when we get through, you have to check all the details.
I'm going, bye.
You would have left, man?
Yeah, I would have.
Come on.
No, I'm saying if I was you, I would have just said I'm staying in Cuba. I ain't got the patience
by yourself. When it's July 4th weekend, you're about to miss all the madness. I gotta get on that plane, big man. Plus I was sick of Cuba, bro. I got food poisoning over there. The food was terrible. I just felt like I was real slumming it. No offense to my Cubans. Yeah, I was done with it. I was ready to go and live the Western world life, bro. Do you know what I mean? Go and get a burger for like $2.99, bro, and just park off. Go Wet Willie's, get a nice little slush puppy. But anyway, I'm filling it out. We finally get to the end, checked all the details, confirm it. It's just loading. But the time's ticking on the flight to get on this flight. They're about to close it. The man behind the desk looks at me, and he can tell I'm under pressure because he's looking at Tia and Ellen and he's thinking, these girls are about to leave my man. Like, you can see he's under pressure. He feels sorry for me. And then he does, I don't know what he does, but he just like, he's there on the computer for a second. He's like, all right, you can go through. That's what I was thinking. You go. Bro, this is what I was thinking. So wait, hold on.
So he could have just said you ain't know the whole time. No, nah, man.
If I'm lying, I'm flying. Ask Tia. She was like, what? So
he just did it.
So
yeah, but he might have just put something like your Esther's pending.
Yeah, I think he did something like that. Yeah. But he could have did that to begin with. But he just waited for me because he kept asking, have you submitted it?
He was testing your temperature, bro.
Yeah. Bruh. So then we finally got through, and then I don't know if you'll notice this at airports. When you get through that part where you put your luggage and stuff, and then you actually go all the way through and get to the gate, sometimes in some airports it's the same people that are by the gate.
Oh yeah.
They migrate from there to the gate. So when we've got there and we've got to the gate, my man's there before us, like he's just clicked his fingers and come there, like he's just teleported in Dragon Ball Z, and he's just smiling at the gate at me like, bro, you just about made it, bro. And then we get over there to Miami, fam, and I'm just thinking, bro, I can't even remember why I started this story. What was you talking
about? Like table services and all that.
Cool. All right, so that's it. So we're in Miami now, July 4th weekend. We go to Club Story. Me goes to performing. Cool. Now we show up. Bearing in mind, this is July 4th weekend, so everyone's trying to get a table. Remember, everyone from around the world and all around America fly to Miami for July 4th weekend. If you see the queues outside this club, it is mad. I'm like, we're never getting in. Somehow Tia knows one of the guys at the door.
Yeah.
So what happens? You know, when you're a good-looking girl, boom.
Yeah.
We get in.
Pretty privileged.
We come in now, but we don't have a table. Exactly. We don't have a table though. So me and my boy Pierre, shout out Pierre from Wood Green, my guy, we're in there. And I go to the bar and I think, all right, do you know what? Let me just go and get a drink, innit? Go to the bar. Bro, I ordered 2...
Oh, no.
Wait for it.
Oh, no.
I got a drink for me.
Oh, no.
I got one drink for me, one drink for Peter, and a bottle of water because, you know, it's hot out there. I was dehydrated. Yeah. Double Grey Goose, two double Grey Goose and Cokes.
You should have just said the house vodka.
Listen.
Yeah, he's not to know, but go on.
No, but Grey Goose get me twist. 2 double Grey Goose and a lemonades and a water. I want you to hazard a realistic guess to what that came to.
What, 2
double Grey Goose drinks each and a bottle of water. How much would that be in a club in West End, roughly? How much is one double Grey Goose?
Like 15.
I was going to say that. Like 15 quid.
So £30 for 2 the drinks.
£30 for 2
and
drinks.
Then
and then maybe I'd probably say at a stretch.
£5.
Yeah, £4 or £5 for the water.
So £35.
Yeah, I would go with £5.
How much do you think it was in Club Story? In dollars?
I'm going to say $50 for a drink.
I'm going to say 40.
No, all of them. All in. For all these 2 drinks and the water, how much all in?
Okay, I was going to say like $40, $45 or something like that.
Oh, what, both? For all of it?
Both drinks and the water.
I'm going like 120. So
what?
I'm going like Ibiza prices.
Ibiza ain't that much. But
Ibiza is like €20 for water.
It is expensive for water.
Yeah, but
$20
because
for
everyone
water.
in Ibiza's on pills, so they know water's valuable.
Okay, I'm still going 120.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. No, you've lost it.
That's wild. But it was mad. It was $85.
That's mental.
Think about it. So I
wasn't even that far off.
Yeah, but I'm shocked.
I'm surprised that you said that. Bro. Where the fuck are you, bro?
$50 for a juice.
What?
That's
$50
what
for a juice, bro.
That's what I thought they might say. They might say.
Fam,
$50.
That is a monstrosity.
Bro, come on, man. This one whole bottle of Dissy costs £16 and they're charging for a glass.
But this is why
Miami,
but this is why I'm confused by you guys, because you're saying that is a madness, $50 for a drink. But if that Cristal tells me, if I tell you it couldn't cost a rack for a bottle, you say, yeah, that's calm.
$5, a rack on alcohol and that needs to come with some pooch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's got to come with some pooch. Like, because that's what that is essentially there for. Let me tell you something. I don't like no alcohol that much. Yeah, not that much. And I've spent money on bottles of champagne with my brethren at certain points. Yeah, we've gone out. I remember we used to like. Christmas Eve used to be our thing, so I would not take any bookings or anything like that. And me and my good friends used to go out. We used to go to like a club or whatnot, and we would spend.
Turn up.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, we would go and spend peas, but really, I didn't love the alcohol that much.
You didn't.
I didn't. I liked the idea of obviously we were celebrating. That was going to bring women attention.
Yeah.
We could get a number that night, whatever it was.
Image.
It was going to,
Yeah.
And then somewhere down the line, it was going to lead to some pooch, whatever it may be. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a whole package.
It's the whole package. How much times have we convinced ourselves that we like alcohol just for that moment and that
Let me
night?
tell you
The
something.
guys I grew up with like alcohol.
Fam, Moet tastes like shit.
vibe.
Listen, Moet tastes like shit.
Yeah,
man. It does not
shit.
taste nice,
Yeah.
fam.
Champagne's a bit of a mad thing, yeah.
There is like one or two champagnes that I've tasted that are kind of like not too bad, but Moet tastes like shit, bruv.
And it makes you feel like shit.
Don P's not that nice.
Yeah, it's not.
Nah, it's
yeah,
not.
It's not. It's just not in it, bruv. It's not.
Do you know what?
Baby Sham is better than that.
Or Magnum. A quick little Magnum.
I've always wished they just sold Magnums in the club, man.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah.
just be so
You go
lit.
to a yardie dance, they sell Magnums like water. I go Stone Love
Is it?
you know me. New Year's Day, I go
dangerous
Stone
in them
Love.
dances,
Nah,
bro.
man, it's
Yeah.
love. Trust me.
Someone's got the strap
Stone
in
Love
there.
is love. I'm telling you, it's love.
Is it?
It's love.
But it's not for you because you're Chuckie.
Nah. It's trust me.
Yeah.
Chuckie online.
For those
in
who
the
don't know,
building.
Stone Love is a big sound system from Jamaica. They always do like something on New Year's Day, but the promoter usually hires at a space where they have their own bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
they
prefer that.
make a killing on that. So and then you get Magnum, you get Ciroc, bottles of champagne, and people just spend a hell of a lot of
Yeah, I
money
like
on
that.
that. And they got their own
prefer
bar.
that.
If you're a promoter and you can have your own bar,
It's game
bro,
over.
it's
Isn't
mad.
it?
It's the one. I wanna move on to something, man. I wanna move on to something that. Do you know what? I'm gonna hit a round of applause for it. Twitter
Again,
has finally got rid of the devil. Devil in the flesh. I'm called Lucifer, Satan,
yeah.
Shaitan, Jinn. Any other words for the devil?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't stand her.
Lucifer.
Katie Hopkins has gotten the fuck out of here, and it is about time. One more time, man. Twitter. Hey, listen. If you don't know, Katie Hopkins has been permanently banned from the social media app that is Twitter. Now, if you don't know, she had like over 1 million followers.
Yeah.
She had her little far-right movement that was always supporting her for some reason.
Yeah.
But what upset me the most about her tweets, other than obviously what she's saying, is the fact that when people were retweeting it to get onto her, you're giving her the promo she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are retweeting it like, I hate Katie Hopkins, or even if you don't retweet her and you're just tweeting about her and not atting her, just saying, Katie Hopkins is a dick, I don't see why people give her attention. You're giving her attention. That was the catch-22, the vicious cycle of it. So now that she's out of here.
Do you know what? I'm conflicted.
Outside
I'm going to be
man.
honest though. I'm conflicted.
Ooh, this is
I'm conflicted
Wait,
as well.
hold on,
I
this
wanna
is a
hear
hard
it.
take. Go on, Chuckie. Let me hear it.
I'm
wanna hear
conflicted
This
because
is what I wanted.
what does that do for like freedom of speech?
Yes, I'm with you.
Because
I'm
you know
with
what it is?
on that.
I can't stand her, Mitch. I hate her guts.
Yeah.
I would not have a conversation with someone like that. Do you remember when Charlemagne, some of you might not know, yeah? But there's someone who's quite similar to Katie Hopkins, who was a girl called Tommy Lauren, yeah? And Tommy Lauren is an American news reporter, journalist who just had some really outrageous things to say about like black people and just all kinds of stuff, yeah? She had a lot of things to say about people. And Charlemagne did had a conversation with her because I know that he had her on Donkey of the Day a couple of times. So then she invited him onto the show and he battered her, like mentally and then sometimes what they would do is they would try to flip it a little bit and edit it in a certain way to make it look like she had the upper hand of the conversation or whatever. But then I remember at some point they'd sat down, they'd taken a picture together and his picture had gone up and whatnot. And I just thought, that's not the move. Like, that is not the move.
As in, he shouldn't have done that.
Like, not to sit and have... Because you don't... Like, this is not someone that needs that, essentially. That's just my opinion. So that's how I feel about Katie. I feel like she'd never come on my podcast. There'd be no reason to sit and have a conversation with her because I know that some people will say that, you know what, it's very good to find out that, like, the mindset of this type of person or whatever.
What makes them tick and what their thoughts
not are. Her, because of sometimes I just feel like she just does things to just be outrageous for outrageous sake. However, what I will say is that there are people that do think like her, and you know, she said a lot of things that I don't agree with, and a lot of things that I hate, and she everything that she stands for is everything that I hate in a human being. Yeah. But do I then say, she's not a human being, by the way. Yeah. But it doesn't sit right with me to say, you know what, she shouldn't have a platform to speak. I think it would be more powerful though if the majority of people actually just had the brain power and the capacity, also the know-how to just not say her name. That's an ideal world, bro. I know it is. But it is also an ideal world to just say, you know what, we're going to get rid of her and everything's going to stop because someone else is going to pop up anyway.
No, but I don't think it's about stopping that in general. I just think it's about stopping her. So the ideal world is, all right, everyone, no one promotes her and no one talks about her, but if she exists, that's just not going to happen.
Can I just
biased, by the way, but I'll let
can I just expand on that? Yeah, I think the ideal world is everyone. That's the ideal world. But I don't think it is an ideal. I don't think it's idealistic to say the majority, because a lot of people that I see retweeting her or talking about her are talking about her in a way that they just irritated by her and retweeting her stuff, exactly. Which is what you said. And it's not, when you think about it, it isn't that hard to just not say her name.
Just don't engage.
Sometimes, you know what it is? Sometimes some people actually need to hear someone of influence say, the best way to actually get rid of her is just to not mention her name. Which would then make some people turn around and say, you know what, kind of right. I should have thought about that because it's obviously obvious, but sometimes you just need like that person or those group of people that can make you actually really deep it. And I think that could happen. That could have happened.
The only thing is, when we look at it from that perspective, is that on Twitter and social media in general, negativity just spreads more than positivity anyway. So it's like you're always going to get... People like to react to negative things rather than positive things. Definitely. You could put out a positive tweet. It's going to get... How many retweets and likes is it going to get in comparison to something that's negative?
Yeah. But like Chuckie, I'm conflicted though, because although everything... We're all in agreement that Katie Hopkins is a bad person. Like, we don't need that energy.
The spawn of Satan.
But at the same time, it's all good and well Twitter saying we're going to ban her... all these tweets, but you've gained from that. She's got 1 million followers. She probably brought so much traction to Twitter, which would have brought advertisement, etc., etc. So she created traction to their platform. Why have you waited it to get that big before you then banned her? She hasn't said any. I don't believe she said anything right now that's any different to what she said a year ago or 2 years ago. I think it's all PR. It's all, and you got to see behind the smoke screen. I think we got to like separate her as a person and what she's tweeting is wrong, but Twitter banning her, we've got to look at that separately.
I think, do you know what I think it is? I think because of obviously the momentum that the Black Lives Matter movement's picked up recently, and she's really gone in, because let's be real, this George Floyd thing has shocked the world. It's left shockwaves and it's had repercussions and reverberations that have gone further than we've ever seen within the black community. That's just a fact right now, especially in the Western world. And she's been very vocal. I don't know if you lot saw her tweets over the last couple of weeks. She was really getting onto George Floyd, really getting onto Black Lives Matter, really being the opposite when people we thought would never even support things like this are even caving in and supporting this. So for you to be the anti to this, I get it, freedom of speech and all of that. But unfortunately in the UK, we don't even have freedom of speech like that. We're not America, even though it's an American platform. In the UK, we have hate crimes. In America, they don't have that on the same level. Do you get what I'm saying? And they're still
essentially what she was spreading was hate speech.
It's hate speech.
Yeah, but why is it not banning everyone though?
Bro, even the other day, like Marcus Rashford, right? And I know it's not on the same level and it's not that deep, but Marcus Rashford has done something incredible, right?
Honourable shout out.
Even though he didn't score against Spurs.
Shout out Rashford.
Shout out Marcus Rashford, yeah. I had to throw that one in there. Sorry, Chuck. Listen, he did something incredible, right? He campaigned because he knew that when he was younger, he relied on free schools meals. It really helped his mum. And he managed to make the government overturn their laws on free school meals for kids across something like 1.2 million kids across the country. I think it's probably more, actually.
It was... I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm gonna run out there and say 1.2 million. You can crucify me if I'm wrong. Cool.
I feel like it was 2.1. I know it's mad, but
flip it the other way. Cool. 2.1. Either way, it was a lot of school children, right, that needed these meals, and he's managed to overturn that. Managed to make Boris and all of them look like idiots. You know, a footballer who usually gets bad PR, and Katie Hopkins went out of her way. I don't know if you guys saw it to tweet him and say, "What do you mean? Shouldn't the parents that have had these kids have the money to be able to take care of them? Why are we, the taxpayer, having to pay with all of these things?" And like, I get it. We're in a capitalist society. I get it. We've got to pay tax. And, you know, the people that pay more tax than maybe the people that are on benefits, they feel a bit hard done by because they're working for their money. We get all of that. We're in a capitalist society. But at the end of the day, we need to, like, especially during these times, where's the element of humanity involved? If you're good and you're entitled and you're privileged and you've got money, then it's cool, man. Just have a little bit of socialist aspect and care about everyone else.
Don't you think what she said was ironic, though?
Right now it is.
Don't you think what she said? Don't you think what she said even in that was ironic, though? Because she's just alienated a whole bunch of her audience by saying that.
Yeah.
There you go.
So like
the irony.
I would exactly. So for me, I'm like, keep saying some shit like that, and you're actually going to lose even more followers. You're going to lose some, you know.
But you know what it is? Her followers are so dumb and blinded by it. They have an affinity more to the hate stuff she says than even that. They rock with that more.
Yeah. How much of her followers, percentage-wise, do you guys feel are of people who don't even like her? I feel there's quite a lot.
I think it's high, yeah. I think
that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Imagine you're as a follower, you don't like Katie Hopkins, but because she's one of the only people spewing this message that you're too afraid to say publicly yourself, you kind of identify with her.
I don't think it's that. I think
so. What do you think?
We're in a society that entertainment rules, and the likes of Piers Morgan, Charlemagne, Katie Hopkins. These people.
Bro, you threw Charlemagne in there?
But we even spoke about like the likes of ZZ Mills. People that have got. No, I'm saying the people that are anti and that just say the most radicalized and crazy things and just speak off their chest. They're the people that usually their platform. They've got a big platform and people follow them.
The internet now, and
that's how it is. And I think. That's why when I look at Katie Hopkins,
I feel like that is what. Sorry, I
interrupted. No. I was going to say. All I was going to say was like Katie Hopkins. From what I remember, she was just a contestant of Apprentice. That's how she came about. And the fact she's now 10 years later, or whatever it is, got a massive platform, 1 million followers, and she's in the news, and a big corporation like Twitter banning her. It just shows the power of speaking anti has got her. And I think she's doing that in a way just to get the bread. I think she's just trying to secure the bag.
By the way, how is she monetizing this? Like, I know she got a show on LBC, but other than that, how does she monetize
LBC,
this?
a column in Daily Mail, like she's.
I definitely think that even with LBC, I don't think that they should have her on there. I don't think they should have Nick Farage on there. But I definitely think that they should have somebody who has those kind of beliefs. I think it's important to have.
I think so.
I don't think it's. I don't think.
You think we should be able to see every side of the spectrum?
Yeah. I think it's so important for me to be able to say I don't like you. Yeah. I don't like what you stand for. I don't like. I think what you think is wrong. I think it's important for me to say that.
Are you upset that she's been taken off Twitter?
No, absolutely not. Like no, bro. Like I think I'm just making the argument that like, okay, what. Where do we draw the line with it a little bit? So hold on. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. So
it's like when Spotify and streaming platforms took off R. Kelly's music and took off, I think, Chris Brown and XXX music because they had crimes against women or something, and everyone was like, but then if you do that, that opens a can of worms because it's like, what about any other artists that have done criminal activity? Like, you can't govern it in that way. It's a similar thing, but sorry, carry on.
With that being said though, from what I see, I could be wrong, but I don't see a lot of people spewing the type of shit that Katie Hopkins does with that type of following.
Yeah, that's.
I see people doing it with like.
You know what?
I see people doing it with like 1,000 followers, maybe even 20k or whatnot. But what I want to know from Twitter is, where do they say, okay, cool, everyone who speaks like this, we're gonna cut them. We're gonna take them off the platform. At what number? Because essentially that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Because if Katie Hopkins had 5, then she probably wouldn't be taken off. But she's got 1 million. She's very loud. There's a lot of traction. She's very influential. So you know what? She's chatting a bunch of shit. So we're going to cut her off. So are we doing it at 500,000?
Well, you know why she got taken off, right?
What was it?
Because there was a petition. So the
really?
petition got enough signatures. So look, let me break it down to you. So basically, this is the statement that happened. So controversial commentator Katie Hopkins has been permanently suspended for Twitter for violating its hateful conduct policy, the social media giant said. She said her Twitter ban is permanent. She has 1 million followers. She was previously suspended in January for a week. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she was.
And this is the statement they put out. So they said, keeping Twitter safe is a top priority for us. Abuse and hateful conduct have no place on our service, and we will continue to take action when rules are broken. And it was to do with a petition, basically. So this petition, I don't know how many signatures it's got. It doesn't say here, but apparently it got tons of signatures. Now, here's the problem for me. And we were speaking about this before the podcast, Nick. The US president, Donald Trump, has said mad things like when he said the looting starts, the shooting starts. I don't know if you saw, Twitter actually put...
They censored it.
Yeah, they censored it. Did you see that?
I didn't know that they
So they made it like a sensitive... how did they do it again? I can't remember
It's
the
like
thing.
viewed like
This sensitive material.
Yeah.
You know what like Instagram does, but Twitter did it. And this was like one of the first times they've ever did it.
as well, I think.
Yeah, so basically they did that for Donald Trump. But the funny thing is, they're saying that world leaders are exempt from this being banned thing for whatever reason. They haven't provided the reason why, but for some reason Twitter won't do it for world leaders.
I don't agree with that.
That's what's mad. So it's like
it's insane.
Donald Trump has something like 60 million followers.
What I will say is though,
60
Donald
times
Trump,
the amount of
at
followers.
least like what I will say is, agree with it or not, Donald Trump actually did try to clean that up. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
But what
but
he
that-
said, what he
yeah.
actually said was,
I saw that.
But
Like, that was a spin.
it was a spin, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I knew
It
the
wasn't a
context he was
bad
saying.
spin. I'll tell you why it wasn't a bad spin, yeah? Because the reality is, America's got gun laws, people actually have license straps, and
they will
it's your
shoot.
property.
But that's
so
not
you
what he
know
meant when he tweeted it,
I know it's
Chuckie.
not.
He meant, we will shoot you.
I know, exactly.
But he-
But
but
his
then he spun
cleanup was in a way that you could say, as a company, you know what? I know what you was trying to say, and we know where you was going, but you know what? We'll give you the benefit
But
of the
fair
doubt
enough.
with this one, because the cleanup could be, it might not be, but it could be genuine. There's nothing that Katie Hopkins has ever tried to clean up ever in her life. All she's ever done was come out and she's just tried to be outrageous for outrageous sake. And that is the problem with that.
She is double down personified.
We can't have
She's
her.
the
She's the
worst.
queen of double down, bro.
We can't have her on here.
Obviously, but she'll double down on any... Do you know what?
No,
Sorry.
but do you know why I don't rate it though?
Go on.
The reason why I don't rate it, I don't rate anyone who says the outrageous thing just to be outrageous. I think it's so whack.
Do you believe it? Do you think she exaggerates a lot of it for that attention?
100%.
You don't even think she believes a lot of the stuff she's saying?
100%.
Probably not. I do believe that she believes a lot of it. I don't
Isn't she
believe,
scared that she'll get touched?
bruv, I always
I've seen
think that.
so many people
I
on
always
Twitter.
think that.
I see young 18-year-olds on Twitter saying, if I ever see Katie Hopkins,
Yeah, but I've seen
she's
her
going
at
to get a
protests and
box.
stuff, and she knows that they're not going to actually hurt her.
I'm not even talking, bro. I'm talking about
She
when
must be, I reckon she's protected.
brother. I'm talking about when she goes Waitrose, because we know she don't go Tesco's.
But where does she live? Where does
Yeah,
she
we
live?
don't-
She
yeah.
has to live in an area with people who do not
Like-minded,
necessarily.
you're saying?
Yeah, to a degree. Like they're not. They may not.
So you don't think she
They
ever
may
goes
not
West
agree
End,
with everything that
Oxford
she's saying. Nah, they may not agree with everything that she's saying, but they're not offended by it. And there's a difference.
I'd love to know where she lives. Is that information not on Twitter? Not exactly the road and the street, but the area at least?
She put it this way: she don't live in London.
Cobham, where John Terry lives?
Maybe. Listen,
Cobham,
these like
Shout out
she
to
lives
everyone
in an
from Cobham.
area where I believe is probably not in London. And this is the thing, yeah. See, like when we look at like the voting system and all of that, yeah, and when it feels like, you know, like when everyone gets behind like a candidate and that, and it looks like, you know what I mean, Jeremy's gonna win and all
Jeremy
that.
and Brexit, we're going to stay in.
Yeah,
and
but you got to think, yeah, that like, okay, yeah, there's London, there's Manchester, there's Birmingham. That's cool, innit? But do you know what? There's Scunthorpe, there's
Woking.
Blackpool, there's Fairfield,
Yeah.
there's all of these other pockets of areas that end up being the majority.
Yeah.
And they think completely different.
Yeah.
So if she lives there, then she's nice.
She's
But
cool.
and
She's cool.
she probably does, but doesn't she have to come LBC, we know where that is. That's where Capital is. That's in central London, bro. It's part of Global.
Listen,
don't she have to come Leicester Square to come do that, or she doing that from home?
Katie Hopkins is part of a society. She's the people that have responded to us, and when I see her, they're just as bad as her because no one's going to do anything when they see her.
They probably want to take a picture of that.
Yeah, let's be real.
I bet you people want to take a picture.
I'm going to do this and that. When they see her, they'll probably take a picture.
If I see anyone that isn't white taking a selfie with Katie Hopkins.
Did you not see that video that went viral with Wiley where someone's like, Wiley, what do you think of the Stormzy Chip beef? And Wiley's talking and then he responds and the guy was just like, sure. It's like, say it with your chest. Like, you don't want to say it with your chest. Of course they don't. Because that's the society we're living in.
Yeah. I know, but you know what? Let's be real though. When someone's spewing hatred on that level, I can't swear that someone, from our culture or from our background might not do something if they saw her. Because she's saying really hateful things that are just outside the realm of social media and jokes.
She's not Donald Trump. She's obviously seen black people since she's been saying all this stuff, and to my knowledge, no one's touched her.
Yeah, but what?
Yeah, but she's not exempt from getting touched. Like,
she's not exempt, but I just think that
she moves. I think she just probably moves in a way that she's like. Think about it. She makes money however she makes money. She goes to the radio station. No one ain't going to Leicester Square to go and touch no one like that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Trust me, very surveillanced over there. It's very surveillanced over there.
Yeah, it's very surveillance. She's probably protected in some way. So she's good like that. And honestly, like, yeah.
Would you even want to live like that though?
What's that?
Just paranoid, man. Knowing that, you get threats all the time.
It depends on what you thrive on though. It depends on what you thrive on. Like, she might thrive on that. She might thrive on that. She might actually love the fact that she's got, she can afford to have security and do a lot and walk down the street and feel proud. Bro,
is she gone that way? Hold on. Is she?
I don't know.
Is she gone like that?
I'm speculating on that. But let me just tell you this, yeah. Do you know how good it does feel to walk down the street and you got people that's like standing by side, like ready to protect you? Yeah. That shit feels nice. I'm not lying to you. That shit feels good.
Our snitch 9, he knows all about that.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, while we're on the subject of Twitter,
let this be clear. I am like not mad at all at Katie being, because my argument actually isn't about Katie.
For the record,
you've got the wider argument.
Mine is just about like just the speech in general. It's like, cool. I know she said some super outrageous, so maybe she's an exception, yeah. But like in general, there's a lot of people that just chat a whole bunch of shit on Twitter and stuff, and that have these mad political views and whatever. But I just think that we need to be able to, as a community, try to find ways of silencing them. But I don't know if that's necessarily always the move. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.